Hi, it's Anita Berry with Johnston Stewart here to provide you with your weekly update on the 2023 legislative session. Today concluded the third week of the 9-week session. This week, both chambers unveiled their proposed budgets, with both the House and Senate proposals totaling just around $113 billion, but a bit shy of the governor's proposed $115 billion budget. The chambers will convene in budget conference later in session in order to work out the differences between their two proposals. Of highest importance to amplify in the budget proposals, the House has renewed the fight over Enterprise Florida and Visit Florida of years past, with their budget proposal eliminating funding for both programs. The Senate plan recommended $80 million in funding for Visit Florida, which is higher than in years past, but $20 million less than the governor's proposed budget. On top of that, the House rolled out today a proposed committee bill that would make significant changes to tourist development taxes. Knowing the importance of both to the Amplify Clearwater community, will be heavily engaged in the issue going forward. Yesterday, the Senate passed a priority tort reform package for both chambers and the governor. The legislature then quickly sent the bill to the governor this morning, and it was signed into law soon after. This bill, which is incredibly important to the business community, became effective immediately upon the governor's signature and includes significant legal reforms of importance to the business community, including getting rid of one-way attorney fees, modernizing bad faith laws, creating transparency in medical damages, and limiting contingency fee multipliers to rare and exceptional circumstances. On Thursday, the Senate approved House Bill 1, which will significantly expand Florida's school voucher program, thereby extending school choice and providing additional financial supports for families. The bill is a priority for House Speaker Renner and will now go to the governor for approval. Both chambers have also included funding within their budgets to support this legislation, although there are differences in the amount of funding that has been provided. House Bill 3, which is another priority of the House Speaker, passed the full House this afternoon. The bill would prevent environmental, social, and governance standards from being considered when investing government money. The Senate bill is scheduled for its first committee hearing next week. As far as priorities for Senate President Pasadomo, her top priority is Senate Bill 102, which aims to address the state's growing affordable housing crisis. That bill passed the House today. It will go to the governor for approval as well. Senate Bill 1432 passed its first committee in the Senate week. That bill would lower the state's communications services tax and prohibit local governments from raising their communication services tax for the next 3 years. The bill is expected to save residents over $168 million if it passes. So far, the House bill has not yet been heard in committee. Continuing on the trend that we've talked about the last couple of weeks, the Senate passed Senate Bill 1110 out of its first committee this week. That bill would limit school board members to 8 years in office instead of the 12-year limitation that they currently have. On top of that, the bill would create a limitation of 8 years for county commissioners. The House bill has already passed the floor, but only includes school board members at this time. Finally, the House continued to move a bipartisan bill that would expand the eligibility threshold for Florida Kid Care. It would move that threshold up to 300% of the federal poverty level. Speaker Renner has made this bill a priority and has included funding for that change in the House proposed budget. That's all for this week. We'll continue to keep you updated on everything going on in Tallahassee.